Hello and welcome to Jamo Games channel. Today we present to you best upcoming open world games 2022 and beyond. Please click like button and subscribe for more videos. So let's begin. The Day Before. The Day Before is an upcoming open world MMO about trying to survive in a deadly post-pandemic United States overrun by flesh-hungry infected and untrustworthy survivors. After your character awakes with amnesia, they set out to uncover the truth while scavenging for resources to stay alive. You'll explore a beautiful world plunged into chaos and search abandoned vehicles, houses, and buildings looking for useful items and defending yourself from enemies. Saints Row. Set in the American Southwest, Saints Row is a remake of the original 2006 open-world game developed by Volition and published by Deep Silver. In it, players navigate the crime-ridden streets of Santo Ileso, a city under control of three criminal gangs, Los Panteros, the Idols, and Marshall Defense Industries. Taking on the role of boss, players will recruit a team of dissatisfied for-hire criminals to take on each gang and seize their power. The remake is anticipated to steer away from the traditionally wacky tone of the Saints Row series to strike a better balance between comedy and seriousness. Forspoken. Forspoken is an upcoming open-world action-adventure game currently in development at Luminous Productions, a new Square Enix game studio formed by members of the Final Fantasy XV development team. The game sees you controlling a fleet-footed young woman, likely named Athia, as she explores a world not her own, comprised of snowy mountains, lush forests, and ancient ruins. In the teaser trailer, we can see Athia possesses the power to make roots grow out of the ground, and fire-breathing wolves are among the game's enemy types. Considering the developers' affinity for JRPGs, it'll be interesting to see them apply their talent to a new genre. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, definitely keep your eye on this one. Gotham Knights. Best known for Batman, developer WB Games Montreal is back with another game set in the DC universe. With the Caped Crusader supposedly dead, Gotham Knights shifts its focus to his super-powered protégés as they're called to defend Gotham City. Presented as a co-op-based action RPG for up to 4 players, the game sees you donning the mantle of Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and Nightwing with help from friends. A single-player mode will also be available, allowing one player to swap between the 4 characters throughout the campaign. Starfield. Bethesda announced Starfield back in 2018 with a teaser trailer, and we haven't heard much aside from some small leaks of info leading up to an update during E3 2021. We now know the game will be releasing exclusively for Xbox and PC and coming to Game Pass on launch day. Similar to previous Bethesda RPGs like Skyrim, Starfield will see players embarking on an epic open-world adventure, only this time in space. There's still some mystery surrounding what mankind is turning to the stars in search of, though if we had to wager, it probably has something to do with aliens. Stalker 2. The Stalker games are known for getting nitty-gritty with their approach to post-apocalyptic open worlds. While they've always been reminiscent of games like Metro and even Fallout RPGs to some extent, the series suddenly disappeared after just 3 releases. Stalker 2 will see players venturing into the zone, an irradiated wasteland surrounding the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site. The area stands out for its high radiation levels, which causes scavengers to develop supernatural abilities that affect traversal and combat. Hogwarts Legacy. Outside of movie tie-ins and the occasional mobile release, we haven't really seen many games explore the magical world of Harry Potter. That's set to change when Avalanche and Warner Bros. Upcoming open-world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy releases next year. Set during the late 1800s, it casts players as a new student at Hogwarts tasked with choosing their house and attending classes while exploring the school's mysterious grounds. Over time, they'll learn to cast different spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, and battle enemies while navigating a morality system based on their actions. My Time at Sandrock. Well-received farming sim RPG My Time at Portia is getting a sequel sometime in 2021 early 2022, based on developer-publisher Pathia Games' recent announcement. After a successful Kickstarter campaign, the studio initially planned to launch in Steam Early Access in 2021, though issues with the game certification process have resulted in its delay. My Time at Sandrock follows a similar formula to the first game, only with a new Western setting and an expanded storyline with hundreds of side quests and new characters. The sequel will also feature a revamped combat system, new crafting resources, crops, tools, and workshop items. Tchia. Tchia is an upcoming open-world adventure game in which you play as a young girl exploring a physics-driven sandbox. The game offers tropical locations to discover, characters to get to know, and hidden surprises around every corner. Additionally, Tchia has a special ability that lets her magically transform into 30+ different animals as well as 100+ objects. This is reflected in both the story and gameplay, with Tchia using her powers to help her friends explore the island and escape danger. Palworld. Towing the line between weird and genuinely exciting, Palworld is an upcoming open-world game from S.T.A.L.K.E.R Games, best known for Craftopia. It puts its own spin on the survival crafting genre by throwing in Pokémon-inspired creature collecting, with various pals for you to tame. Monsters you collect have special powers that can come in hand during battles, farming, building, fishing, and more. While it's a bit jarring to see such adorable creatures appear alongside shotguns, assault rifles, and rocket launchers, there's something so interesting about Palworld's concept. Slime Rancher 2. Indie game studio Monami Park is currently working on a sequel to the bright and bubbly farming sim Slime Rancher. Continuing with the adventures of Beatrix LeBeau, Slime Rancher 2 sees you venturing to Rainbow Island, a new world brimming with ancient mysteries and exotic wildlife. Armed with an arsenal of slime wrangling tools, you'll collect and breed an assortment of unique slime creatures with distinct traits and personalities. Once you get a hang of the game's plort-based economy, you'll be able to flip resources for Nubix and spend them on ranch upgrades and new gadgets. Hazel Sky. In Hazel Sky, you take on the role of a young engineer tasked with overcoming the challenges that await him on an abandoned island. Your journey sees you exploring every inch of the island in search of spare parts that can be combined to create mechanically dazzling machines. The goal is to build a device that will allow you to escape the island and make it back home in one piece, though we're counting on plenty of twists and turns along the way. Despite Hazel Sky's mechanics-driven premise, its story also shows a lot of promise, and we're eager to learn more about its main protagonist Shane. Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world game that comes from developer-publisher Pearly Abyss, the same studio behind hit MMORPG Black Desert. Originally, the game was meant to be a prequel to Black Desert, but was ultimately scrapped and rebooted as a standalone experience set in a medieval fantasy world. In it, players take on the role of a mercenary traversing a war-ravaged world, where they'll have to complete quests and recruit other mercenaries to join them in battle. The extra help will definitely come in hand, seeing as the game will reportedly feature harsh weather conditions across its open-world regions. Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones development has been plagued by numerous delays, reboots, and internal turmoil stemming from the departure of the game's creative director mid-production. At the moment, the initial release date points towards sometime after March 2021. We bet so many of you are looking forward to getting your hands on this one, and with good reason. Some of its systems are genuinely interesting, such as the ability to use landmasses for cover and territory control, as well as being able to camouflage your ship by raising the enemy's flag. Atomic Heart. Initially announced as a 2018 release, Atomic Heart has had one of the more interesting development stories, with rumors suggesting it may not even be the same game anymore. Categorized as a first-person shooter with RPG elements, the game is well into the process of development at Studio Mundfish, a Russian-based indie game studio. Evoking memories of sci-fi staples like BioShock and Fallout, Atomic Heart takes place in an alternate reality, where the Soviet Union's research has led to a technical revolution. Players assume control of a Soviet KGB officer tasked with infiltrating a secret facility that's gone radio silent. Avowed. Avowed is a brand new IP from developer Obsidian that's currently in development. It's described as a first-person RPG set in a fantasy-inspired world called Eora. In it, you play as an unknown hero who wields a sword and casts magical spells using some really cool-looking hand gestures. It's not surprising to see Obsidian racing to make another RPG when you consider it's their bread and butter. Fallout, New Vegas, KOTR 2, Pillars of Eternity, the list goes on and on. Thematically, Avowed gives off a much darker tone than we've seen Obsidian explore in the past, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. State of Decay 3. A third entry in the zombie survival horror series State of Decay is currently in development for Xbox Series X and PC. State of Decay 3 intends to offer the ultimate zombie survival simulation, and judging by the announcement trailer, Undead Labs is off to a great start. Fans can look forward to battling even more undead humans along with a new contestant, brain-eating zombie deer. We anticipate the game's graphics will significantly benefit from the next-gen hardware and overall shorter load times. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. From Rocksteady Studios, creators of the beloved Batman, Arkham series, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League is an upcoming action-adventure game set in the DC Comics mythos. It takes place in an open world based on Metropolis and sees players controlling 4 playable characters that make up the Suicide Squad: Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and King Shark. The story centers on the 4-man wrecking crew as they attempt to defeat Brainiac after he invades Earth and brainwashes the Justice League. Designed with co-op in mind, Suicide Squad will let players team up with friends throughout the story or play solo, switching between characters and relying on AI teammates. The Elder Scrolls 6. Even though Bethesda is more occupied with Elder Scrolls Online, they still like to occasionally remind us Elder Scrolls 6 is coming. That being said, we haven't received an update since 2018, so it's likely Bethesda will have something to show before the year is through. Current speculation suggests ES6 might be set in the Skyrim-adjacent region High Rock, based on the announcement trailer depicting a mountainous northern province. It's also rumored that the ongoing conflict with the Thalmor may be a key element in the game's plot. Sonic Frontiers. Positioned as a soft reboot for the franchise, Sonic Frontiers is a new upcoming entry from Sonic Team and Sega that plans on breathing new life into the iconic platformer. It's reportedly the first Sonic game to feature open-world gameplay and will see players exploring the Starfall Islands. This setting is home to a host of different biomes, including flowery fields, lush forests, ancient ruins, and desolate deserts. Considering development on Frontiers started in 2017 after Sonic Forces, it'll be interesting to see what new ideas it explores and how far they'll go towards revitalizing the series. Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Arguably one of the biggest surprises to come out of E3 2019 is Nintendo's announcement that work on a sequel to 2017's Breath of the Wild has already begun. Judging by the reveal trailer, the next entry will maintain BOTW's art style while sporting a much darker tone. At one point, we're able to see Ganondorf's reanimated corpse before the camera switches to an exterior shot where Hyrule Castle is seen rising into the air. Fans have already begun comparing the sequel to Majora's Mask, another heavy hitter in the Zelda series known for its darker themes and mature undertones. Fable. While it may not be the long-rumored Fable 4 sequel we had in mind, a new Fable game is confirmed to be in development at Forza Horizon's studio Playground Games. Intended to be a reboot for the series, Fable will retain the spirit of the original trilogy, which saw players engaging with magical creatures throughout fantasy-inspired locales. Other than a cinematic reveal trailer, we don't have much to go off of in terms of gameplay or even story. The game is still a long way off, but is expected to launch on Xbox Series X and PC, as well as come to Xbox Game Pass. The Lord of the Rings Gollum. In 2019, German developer Daedalic Entertainment announced they were working on a licensed game set within the Lord of the Rings universe for next-gen gaming consoles. The new title is depicted as an action-adventure game that intends to tell Gollum's story from a perspective never seen before in any storytelling medium, all the while staying true and faithful to the legendary books of J.R.R. Tolkien. Best described as a cinematic stealth adventure, Lord of the Rings Gollum will have you traversing faithfully detailed environments, many of which have never appeared in a Lord of the Rings video game. With the success of other Lord of the Rings spin-offs such as Shadow of Mordor and its subsequent sequel Shadow of War, it's clear that there's an audience of players who would jump at the chance to explore Middle-earth from a new point of view. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Insomniac is hard at work on a direct sequel to 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man that will come exclusively to PS5. Little is currently known regarding the story or new gameplay elements, but we can confirm that both Peter Parker and Miles Morales will be reprising their roles as Spider-Man, or is it Spider-Men? Additionally, Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and likely a host of other recognizable Marvel villains will be making an appearance. Much like the original PS4 exclusive, we anticipate Spider-Man 2 will fully utilize the PS5 hardware to allow for faster load times, smoother performance, more detailed environments. Thanks guys for watching our video. Clicking a like button is the best way you can help us to show your appreciation. We'd really be grateful for that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. We'll see you guys next time.